Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Cayman Pharmacy Group, with a location in West Bay and professional pharmacy at CTMH Doctors Hospital. The Cayman Pharmacy Group has a location for you just around the corner. Seaboard Marine, with over 35 shipping ports, find your shipping solution by calling 949-4977 or visit seaboardmarine.com for competitive rates. Rotary Central, for more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. Fidelity Bank, for all your banking needs, visit fidelitygroup.com. Fidelity, we're good for you. And Roper's Janitorial, complete janitorial service for commercial, industrial, and residential. They get the job done right every time.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the Record.
For the Record. For the Record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the Record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the Record.
For the Record. For the Record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome to For the Record. Today is Monday, the 2nd day of September 2019. Year is almost gone. School is back in. And that is quite visible. The fact that school is back in is quite visible by the increase in traffic in the mornings. I would say between the hours of 6:30 to about 8:30 in the afternoons, from about 2:30 onward to about maybe 3:30 minutes to 4. And of course, after 5 o'clock when you're traveling home as well. So now that you are aware of that, we would expect that you plan accordingly. You either leave home early, or if you don't want to get caught in traffic, you leave home a little bit later if you have such flexible time that will allow you to get to your destination as well. I trust that everyone had an enjoyable weekend. We know that there was a serious automobile accident on Saturday night, early Sunday morning, in near the northward entrance to Northward. No fatalities, but some serious injuries, and we hope and trust and pray that those involved will make a full recovery as well. For those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands this morning, we urge you to be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road, and always remember that the life you save may be your own. For those of you who are celebrating birthdays today or celebrated one in the past few days, if you're celebrating one today, we want to wish you a happy birthday. If you celebrated one in the past, I want to wish you a belated happy birthday. And if you're celebrating one coming up, then I want to wish you one as well. We know a good friend of ours from the Rockhole posse, Mr. Carl Hudson. We call him Huddo. He's celebrating his birthday tomorrow as well. So since For the Record will not be on the show until Wednesday, rather than having to wish him a belated happy birthday, we want to wish Hudson a happy birthday in advance as well. For those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we hope and trust that your faith will help to carry you through these very challenging times. Folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and, by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the very busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, whether it be an office cubicle or if you're working in the outdoors. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. Our phone lines are always open during those hours, and you can join us. There's always someone there waiting to take your calls as well. I don't want to forget that beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson. You can call us on our toll-free number, which is provided by courtesy of Flo. That toll-free number is 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and the 949-6990. If you don't like to talk on the telephone, email us at For the Record. That is one word, For the Record, at candw.ky. WhatsApp us on 925-3261, where we encourage you to send us a text message or leave us a voice note, contents of which will be played during the course of the show. And, of course, you can follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. We are due to have guests in our studio after the 8 o'clock news. Representatives from the School of Hospitality. We should have someone from the ministry, I believe, as well in the studio with us. So meanwhile, we basically going to have an open line for you to communicate with us, talk to your fellow listeners out there. If you have any information that you want to share, any questions that you wish to ask, or any other observations, certainly we encourage you to take the opportunity to do so during this first half hour of the show. I want to talk a little bit about Brexit. Again, it seems as if those who are opposed to a no-deal Brexit, some of whom are within the Labour Party camp, some of whom are in the Conservative Party camp, are seeming to join forces to try to introduce legislation in the UK. Of course, the Parliament starts this week, and want to try to introduce legislation that would prevent a no-deal Brexit. We will wait and see what will happen with that. And then in some of the UK papers today, it seems as if the Prime Minister will be meeting with his cabinet today as well. And one of the topics of discussion will be the possibility of early elections. And it is speculated that that decision may come, or that announcement could possibly be made by Wednesday of this week as well. So keep your ears close to the ground to see, to listen to what's happening, to hear what's happening in terms of the UK, because it will have, I believe, some minimal effect on the Cayman Islands, even if it doesn't extend it beyond the negotiations that we're having with them at this point in time as well. And then, of course, if elections are called, there are those who don't want to see a Labour government in power, don't want to see Jeremy Corbyn as the Prime Minister. So it'll be interesting. Some don't want Corbyn, some don't want no-deal Brexit, some want to be out of the EU, either with a deal or without a deal. Some want it, but want to ensure that the Irish backstop is not included in it. All sorts of things happening in that regard. Let's move over to Hong Kong. This is very interesting. And in the Guardian newspaper today, they talk about the fact that some of the Hong Kong protesters They're now calling for the UK to give citizens rights to live and work in the UK. And of course, after 1997, the UK replaced passports given right of abode with visa-free travel documents with no work rights. So says that prior to Hong Kong's handover in 1997, 3 million people held British Dependent Territory citizens' passports, which gave them the right of abode in the UK. Britain replaced these with British National Overseas passports, which grants the right to vote in the UK, but not the right to live or work in the UK, which then earns the British National Overseas. They have been given the nickname Britain Says No. So again, you see a situation where the UK's nationality laws has created all of these different types of nationalities: British National Overseas, British Overseas Territories, citizen, again, making these distinctions, separating people as well. The article goes on to point out that the passports are only available to those who registered before 1997, and holders are not able to pass their status on to their children, but the documents can be renewed at any time. The number of valid passports at the moment is thought to be in the tens of thousands, but renewals appear to have been risen sharply in the years when political tensions have run high. So, again, here's another challenge facing the current UK government or any government that may come into power as a result of early elections as well. We have one caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Lucy, and I hope you had a wonderful weekend.
Good morning. Thank you very much, and I trust that you did as well.
Yeah, I did. I was just feeling sadly about the situation up in the Bahamas because that hurricane is. I'm afraid to hear what really happened there because they had seas that were coming in 7 meters high. And I mean that, they're flat like Cayman is, the Bahamas. They don't have any mountains or anything, so you can imagine that kind of weather, that kind of seas and stuff coming in. What happened to little houses? And oh my God, But anyway, what I wanted to mention this morning, and it's bothered me ever since it happened, was this thing with the one TV station we got here. And then I think we'll see that. I mean, Randy was in trouble, okay, so he had problems with keeping up the payments, stuff like that. But that little station was important to Cayman, especially to poor people who can't afford to pay these exorbitant prices they charge you for this cable TV and stuff like that. The one thing we had that, and especially in time like now where you got hurricane season and stuff like that. These people depend on that kind of thing. We had good reporters there, local people, all employed, local people, most of them. And what I'm saying is, when I see Charles come down here for one day and he's given $300,000 because it cost us $300,000. We see the companies that come in here. You remember that there was a project called the Ironwood Project?
Yes.
Yeah. You see anything happen to that yet?
No, and there were those who predicted that nothing would come of it.
Well, that's what I was one of them that figured that because that was a land sale deal to increase that property to tourism. You see, and then now they can sit on it and wait till when it's ready, and then they go, see the things that happen here. It hurts me, but this TV thing has really bothered me because I know poor people that depend on that to get their news and stuff like that, and they go home in the evening and they have to. God bless us. Yeah, see, all I can say is I saw something on a car the other day. was driving down. A car up ahead of me, and he had a sign in his back window, and the anger in this island is growing, and you can watch for it. Now it's going to happen. The crime is going to go up and stuff. People are getting too many people going on. Too people feel neglected. Too many people feel like they're not getting their fair share of this island. This guy had a sign on the back of his car that said, and I'm going to quote exactly what it said. It says, if you hit me and if you run into me into my back end, when my baby is in this car, I will get out and I will beat your ass until the police come. Now that is anger, okay? These are the things that I noticed that's happened. People, there's so many angry people. You see people driving down the road full speed. You see these young boys, on these bicycles, these motorcycles and stuff, coming down on little narrow roads, with doing their wheelies and stuff like that. And it's almost like they're daring someone to try to stop them. All we can do, OC, is pray for this island. We need to pray, ask God to give us whatever we need to change this thing, because there's too much things going on here, too many things going on here. I see that's destroying the island. I mean, I'll give you one more thing before I leave.
Very quickly, please. Uh-huh.
Very quickly. We got, like when you buy something out of the store, you see the ingredients on top of the package, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, these fast food places we got here, now you can go online, you can find out all the stuff that's in it. I know one particular fast food place that I went in the other day that, as I bit into the French fries, I said, this don't taste like fries. I decided to go online. I find that their French fries are made from rice powder. It has nothing to do with potatoes, but people think they're potatoes. And the same thing with the hash browns, made of the same stuff. What I'm saying is, they should be able. You should tell these people that they should put the ingredients, whatever they're changing. If it's not potato, then say what it is.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You see, and that would be something that people would avoid having, because you see these little children that keep when the parents and the children go in and they eat, and you watch the weight they put on the weight and stuff. It's really terrible. Anyway, my friend, have a good day. God bless.
Thank you very much. All the best to you as well, folks. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we will continue to have an open line for you until the 8 o'clock news. Please stay tuned.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, sponsored by Cayman National Bank. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Immigration laws have long been prevalent through modern Caymanian history, stemming as far back as 1916 when laws were enacted to prevent entry into the islands by non-Caymanian paupers. In 1934, during the Great Depression, a more detailed regulation and immigration law passed, which also gave the first legal definition of a Caymanian. As the islands became home to increased numbers of foreign workers, the Aliens Law of 1961 came into place, which implemented the permit process for those wishing to remain on island. This was followed by the Caymanian Protection Law of 1971, which sought to protect the interests of Caymanians and the integrity of Caymanian way of life. This was followed by the Caymanian Protection Law of 1971, which sought to protect the interests of Caymanians and the integrity of the Caymanian way of life. In 1971 saw the appointment of a chief immigration officer, creation of a protection board, and establishment of appeals procedures. The law was reformulated in 1984, rewritten in 1992. The 1971 law saw the appointment of a chief immigration officer, the creation of a protection board, and the establishment of an appeals process. The law was reformulated in 1984, rewritten in 1992, and has undergone numerous revisions since then.
Radio Cayman's Historical Facts Vignettes are proudly brought to you by Cayman National, with branches on all 3 Cayman Islands. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs.
When you need stability, think Business of the Year.
Considering a new career opportunity, think Best Place to Work. When dependability matters, think outstanding workforce.
In need of a reliable financial partner? Think Bank of the Year.
When you seek excellence, think Cayman National.
No matter how many accomplishments we achieve, we always set the bar higher. That's why we are the most awarded bank in Cayman, and we are proud to be your
2018 Bank of the Year.
It was a day that changed my life. No words can describe the feelings of seeing my baby boy sick for the first time. The overwhelming feeling of fear to be responsible for his health and happiness became my priority. So I did what any nurturing mother would do when their baby is sick. I took him to get some of the best medicine possible.
CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy understands the importance of careful decisions you make every day for your family. Our staff work towards healthcare excellence and providing the most current and up-to-date training with pharmaceutical care, so you can feel confident in knowing that your family is safe with the right medication. At CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy, we take care of your health. Have you seen the latest? Cayman has been ranked the most expensive place to live. It's time to buy smart. It's time to buy Ropers. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices at Ropers. Ropers Janitorial, 949-2511. Email janitorial@ropers.ky. Clean up your spending with Ropers Janitorial, 949-2511. Ropers Janitorial also offers complete janitorial service for commercial, industrial, and residential. They get the job done right every time. Ropers Janitorial, 949-2511.
I'm going to Vamp Motors to test drive the new 7-seater Rush.
They have some really sweet deals going on now, not true?
Yep, on SUVs. And they sweeten the deal by giving you a warm oven-baked cookie with each test drive.
Better test drive more than one, just to be sure.
Take a test drive for a sweet surprise this month at Vamp Motors. Test drive any SUV and receive a freshly baked cookie. It's our way of saying thanks for dropping by to check out our huge sale on every SUV in stock. Save up to $4,400 during Vamp's summer SUV sale. That's every SUV in stock on sale for thousands off or cash back. Sweeten the deal only at Vamp Motors, Walkers Road.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
Hi, I'm thinking of buying a car from the States. Which port do you ship out of?
Hi, we ship out of Miami, Houston, and Brooklyn. Just let us know your port of choice and we can provide you with a quotation and answer any questions you may have on insuring and protecting your vehicle during its journey.
Shipping shore to shore, Seaboard.
Sometimes having a middleman is not a bad thing, especially when it comes to insurance. Do you know that when it comes to cost, ease, speed, and peace of mind, insurance brokers ranked higher than when customers buy direct? So, for all your insurance needs, call Fidelity Insurance. We're the middleman you want. Call us today at 949-7822. Fidelity. We're good for you.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio. I'm going to close off the phone lines for until the 8 o'clock news. After the 8 o'clock news, we should have guests. I want to share this article with you. I believe it may have been shared in some of the local newspapers. One of our MLAs, Mr. Christopher Saunders, may have commented on it as well, but I haven't heard a whole lot of comments in relation to this. Hopefully, I will have enough time to share it with you before the 8 o'clock news. It's an article written on the 28th of August by journalist for the Jamaica Gleaner by the name of Karina Bennett, who's the business reporter for the Jamaica Gleaner. And the article is entitled Jamaica, or JA, Banks on Cayman Berth for Uptick in Cruise Passenger Arrivals. And the article goes on to read that it says that Jamaica... Okay, sorry, just made it a little bit too here we go. Okay, yes. Says Jamaica has reported another contraction in cruise passenger arrivals for June 2019. But there is hope that the country should see increases in arrivals given plans for the development of a new cruise berthing facility in Georgetown, Grand Cayman. The article goes on to say that cruise passenger arrivals to the country, that is Jamaica, dipped by 27.9% for the month of June to a total of 66,552 passengers. Data from the Jamaica Tourist Board showed that passengers visiting the port of Ocho Rios fell by 20.7% with 25,569 passengers, while visitors to the port of Montego Bay fell by 42.4% to 17,144 passengers. The article goes on. It says that Falmouth also recorded a decline of 20.1% to 23,839 passengers. The contraction in cruise passenger arrivals has impacted sales for the Dolphin Cove attraction, which gets 50% of its cruise ship guests from the Falmouth port. The quote is that this is primarily due to the Oasis of the Seas class of vessels not being able to have the ship call on Grand Cayman. Vice President of Cruise Shipping at the Port Antonio, William Tatum, told the Financial Gleaner. He's quoted as saying the ships are so large they have to clear all the paths to do security screening on the passengers on shore. And because of that, they weren't able to have the ship's call on Grand Cayman. Traditional itinerary for cruise routes to the Western Caribbean were Haiti, Jamaica, Grand Cayman, Cozumel, which is Mexico's largest island, and back to Florida. Tatum noted that with the high rated destination that Grand Cayman, and listen to this, Tatum noted that with the high rated destination that Grand Cayman is, in addition to the fact that more vessels were being built for voyages to the eastern end of the Caribbean, some passengers have opted to visit the 4 ports of call on the eastern side versus the 3 port calls on the western end of the Caribbean, which includes Jamaica. For the 6-month period, January to June 2019, Jamaica saw 902,088 cruise passenger arrivals visiting its shores, a decline of 12.4% to 127,793 cruise passengers. He's quoted as saying, because the west sail was missing, because the west sail was missing Grand Cayman, we saw a decline in the Oasis class. The good news is that Grand Cayman is very optimistic about building a new port berth to accommodate the Oasis, and Royal Caribbean has been very much saying that we will see a complete turn around, so the number for Falmouth will climb right back up. Grand Cayman's planned pier and berth are expected to be operational by 2022. Carnival Cruise Lines and Royal Caribbean will help fund the project, which will cost about $200 million. And then the article goes on to say Oasis class vessels weigh 220,000 tons each and have a carrying capacity of 6,000 passengers as well. So this is an article written by a Jamaica reporter, published in the Jamaica Gleaner. Of course, some naysayers will say, want to know whether or not this article was contrived, whether or not there was any collusion between the officials in the Cayman Islands and the reporter. I doubt whether or not that is the case. And I actually plan on trying to contact this reporter and talk to her about this article as well. But for many who are making the claims, some claims in relation to tourism in the Cayman Islands, I think this article here points again to the fact of not only how important it is the birthing facility is for Cayman, but also for other jurisdictions as well. And some may question, well, why do we have to spend money for other jurisdictions as well? Top of the hour, 8 o'clock news, folks. Please stay tuned. When we return, hopefully we will have representatives from the School of Hospitality.
Price Right is Grand Cayman's warehouse shopping superstore, making your dollar go further with huge savings and no membership fees. Get more of the things you use every day at the right price. But it's not just grocery and health and beauty. Price Right has a full range of products from office to automotive, patio furnishings to kitchen appliances, and even electronics. And since warehouse prices mean savings for you, everything is priced right at Price Right, Grand Cayman's warehouse shopping superstore.
And studio time by Price Right is 8 o'clock.
Access and information. Your community. News and information. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. The president of the Cayman United Lionfish League has strong words for divers who feed lionfish to sharks. Don't do it. This after a man was bitten by a small nurse shark on Saturday during the first day of the cull tournament. Lionfish are an invasive species, and licensed divers often spear them if they're spotted on a dive. The cull president suspects that the shark involved in Saturday's incident had been taught to associate people with food after it was fed lionfish by local divers. The Department of Environment's chief conservation officer is reminding divers that lionfish culling licenses require cullers to place all lionfish in containers and remove them from the water once caught. No feeding of marine life is allowed while scuba diving or snorkeling, except in designated wildlife interaction zones. And the only two wildlife interaction zones in Cayman are Stingray Sandbar and Stingray City, both in the North Sound. Another update from the elections office is it hits 95.9% of the number of verified signatures on a petition calling for a referendum on the cruise port project. These numbers are as of 7 p.m. on August 29th. There were 218 verified signatures to go before reaching the required 25% of the registered electors required to trigger a People's Initiator referendum on the Constitution. If and when those numbers are reached, the petition would then go to Cabinet. The petition was started by a group, Cruise Port Referendum Cayman, and the aim is to give the voting public a chance to weigh in on government's plans to build cruise piers and upgrade the port facilities in Georgetown in order to attract more cruise ship passengers. In regional news, the most powerful storm to hit the Bahamas since records began has torn off roofs and caused severe flooding. The slow-moving Category 5 Dorian, the second strongest Atlantic hurricane on record, is packing sustained winds of up to 165 miles per hour and may cause a storm surge of up to 23 feet. There is no official word on casualties, but the Red Cross fears some 13,000 homes have been damaged or destroyed. The hurricane is moving slowly west with the eastern U.S. coast at risk. The U.S. states of Florida, Georgia, North and South Carolina have all declared states of emergency. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Jerry Smith. The International Red Cross says Hurricane Dorian has had a catastrophic impact on islands in the Bahamas, destroying or severely damaging as many as 13,000 houses. It said shelter, clean water and medical supplies were urgently needed in the Abaco Islands. One of the leaders of an impending parliamentary rebellion against a no-deal Brexit says the British Prime Minister wants to lose the vote so that he can purge his Conservative Party. The former Justice Secretary, David Gauke, said Boris Johnson's apparent strategy was to sack MPs who rebel and exclude them as candidates in the resulting general election. The Indonesian authorities have banned demonstrations that could lead to what they call anarchist acts in the Papua region. Speeches promoting separatism have also been banned following several weeks of unrest. A number of people have been killed in violent clashes across Papua. Japan is to bolster its defence of a cluster of islands disputed with China by establishing a new police unit. The special armed unit will be based on the southern Japanese island of Okinawa, east of the disputed islets. It'll be the first such force in Japan. A Tunisian policeman and 3 militants have been killed in an exchange of fire in Hydra near the Algerian border. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack, but an organisation linked to Al-Qaeda has operated in the mountainous region since 2012. Police in Ivory Coast have arrested 12 people accused of storming a cemetery shortly after a popular musician had been buried and forcing open his coffin. Many Ivorians were shocked by videos on social media showing fans of DJ Arafat, who died last month in a motorbike accident, removing the coffin from the grave and opening it up to check that it contained his body. BBC News.
Access to information. What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
Kind of like one surgery fits all. You're saying, that's not necessary. That's not going to be the case with me. And that's good to hear.
For the Health of It is proudly brought to you by
Eating Clean. Wake back up to quality foods with eatingclean.com. That's clean with a K. EATINGKLEAN.com.
Work will soon launch Jobs Cayman, an online system that allows registered users to access job postings created by registered employers. This system offers a better approach to facilitate Caymanians in finding employment and allows employers to search for qualified and skilled Caymanians who are seeking employment. For more information on the registration process and what you need to register, visit www.worc.ky. Work, leading the pursuit of full Caymanian employment and economic prosperity for all through service excellence.
The Weather Report is proudly sponsored by Super Stitch Sewing and Fabric Center, your one-stop household store at 39 Pasadora Place, Smith Road. Still offering the best prices in town. Call 949-2833 or go to superstitch.com.ky.
Thinking of decorating your home or your apartment? Then Super Stitch is the place for all your household needs. We have sheets, comforters, bathroom accessories, curtains, and a whole lot more. We are the original curtain store with curtains for every room in the house. Some special Nolan curtains for $10 a panel. Yes, just $10 a panel. Come see us today at Super Stitch. Super Stitch, your one-stop household store at 39 Pasadora Place, Smith Road. Still offering the best prices in town. Call 949-2833 or go to superstitch.com.ky.
Pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 84 degrees. Relative humidity is 85%. Barometric pressure 29.90 inches and rising. The wind is southeast at 4 knots. Overnight low temperature was 80 degrees. Synopsis indicate light southerly winds and slight seas will continue across the Cayman area for the next 24 hours due to a slack pressure gradient over the northwest Caribbean. Radar images show isolated showers north of the Cayman area moving towards the north. The National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida is issuing advisories on Hurricane Dorian, which at last check, Dorian was located near 26.7 north, 78.2 west. It's about 35 miles east-northeast of Freeport, Grand Bahama Island, with maximum sustained winds of 165 miles per hour and moving west at 1 mile per hour. The system poses no threat to the Cayman Islands. For further information on this system, please visit the National Hurricane Center website at www.nhc.noaa.gov. Now the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today and tonight, calling for mainly fair skies with a 20% chance of showers. Temperatures today will rise in the low 90s with a heat index of 105 degrees Fahrenheit and will fall to the upper 70s tonight. You can expect winds from the southeast at 5 to 10 knots for today and tonight, and seas will be smooth to slight with wave heights of less than 2 feet. Today's high tide will occur this morning at 11:56, low tide this evening at 5:55, and a high tide again tonight at 11:47. The sun will set this evening at 6:38 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:11. And the outlook is calling for light south to southeasterly winds and slight seas to prevail over the Cayman area over the next few days.
Superstitch Sewing and Fabric Center was the proud sponsor of the Weather Report, your one-stop shop for all of your household items, craft items, jewelry, beads, and decorations, and much more. Call Superstitch at 949-2833 or email customer care at superstitch.com.ky.
Thinking of decorating your home or your apartment? Then Superstitch is the place for all your household needs. We have sheets, comforters, bathroom accessories, curtains, and a whole lot more. We are the original curtain store with curtains for every room in the house. Some special now-in curtains for $10 a panel. Yes, just $10 a panel. Come see us today at Superstitch. Superstitch, your one-stop household store at 39 Pasadena Place, Smith Road. Still offering the best prices in town. Call 949-2833 or go to superstitch.com.ky.
Excuse me, I noticed you from afar.
Really? Me?
Well, not you. The KFC sandwich you're eating?
Oh, Zinger.
Sorry, I'm not trying to be funny.
No, it's called the Zinger Sandwich. Crunchy, juicy, 100% chicken breast, crisp lettuce, sweet mayo on a seeded bun with a little zing. KFC's chicken is not factory breaded, frozen and refried like the Burger Boys. Customize your KFC Zinger and dip it in barbecue sauce.
Wow, now I'm starting to notice you too.
KFC, it's finger licking good.
Support our port, support our tourism.
The cruise berthing facility will not have any upland development, which means cruise lines will not own or operate any retail or commercial space within the cruise terminal. This is a win for Cape Ann.
Looking forward, looking bright. Support our port, support our tourism.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
At the top of the morning once again, and let's take a look at traffic. Coming from the east on Shamrock Road and the Linford Pearson Highway, traffic is busy. And steady traffic coming off of the Linford Pearson Highway on Agnes Way. And a little steady traffic off of Bobby Thompson Way. And traffic is slow moving on some sections Cool Road, other sections steady traffic. Looking at what's happening on Godfrey Nixon Way, traffic moved on moderately at the moment, and Eastern Avenue as well. And light to moderate traffic flow from the West Bay 4-way stop. And looking towards Owen Roberts Drive, traffic flowing pretty good, as well as on Shedden Road. And on Edward Street, moderate flow of traffic. And looking at Huldah Avenue and Thomas Russell Way, traffic is also moderate. That's the very latest on your traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12. We'll update you traffic-wise. Have a good morning. Buckle up.
Introduce yourself to the Fresh Fit 6-inch Whey at Subway.
That's 7 subs that have 400 calories or less.
These are healthier choices made with fresh options, making healthy delicious.
Choose from roast beef, the Subway Club, or Veggie Delight.
There's oven-roasted chicken, turkey breast, black forest ham, and sweet onion chicken teriyaki.
With 400 calories or less and loaded with flavor, enjoy the Fresh Fit subs at Subway. Available island-wide and 24 hours a day at Anderson Square and Centennial Towers.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Hey, are those new glasses on Will?
Yeah, we went to Optical Outlook. Wham, bam, easy exam. Finally, an exam he could pass. And we had the glasses the next day. Easiest part of our back-to-school shopping for sure.
Book your child's eye exam today at Optical Outlook. Call 746-2020. Get half off a complete pair of glasses with any student's eye exam, now extended to September 14th. Come see the difference with Optical Outlook. Located in Caymanian Village.
Terms and conditions apply.
Radio Cayman 3 to 6 mix on the weekdays. Brought to you by
Cayman Insurance Center, serving the community for 45 years. Don't take chances with your family's future. Call Denise Brown at 814-7229 or Michael Webster at 925-5433. Fitness Plus and Train with Dre. Getting in shape has never been easier with the mobile fitness app by Train with Dre and the new Eco Power Sport Art equipment.
Every day.
Every day. All the time. All the time.
Visit fitnessplus.com for more information.
Also brought to you by Merengue Town.
It's time to feel the rhythm. Time to feel the vibe. It's time for Merengue Town.
For the record with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio, despite the fact that it's been, quite a long spell in between the time that he was here before. But again, we have in the studio with us this morning Mr. Wayne Jackson, who is the director of the School of Hospitality Studies here in the Cayman Islands. Mr. Jackson, good morning. Welcome back to For the Record.
Good morning. Thank you for having me again, I should say.
And I just want to say to our listening and viewing audience, we were scheduled to have one past student of the Certificate and Education Degree program with us, and also one certificate student and BSc student for 2019, and the current recipient of the Cayman Islands Tourism Association's Rising Star Award, but logistics didn't allow for them to come this morning.
No, it didn't.
Okay.
Pretty disappointed, but those are two of our stars that we've had from our first year in the program. And just to add a little bit on that,
sure.
I beg your pardon, is that one student who was the top student in the first year that we had the program, and he has excelled each time he went to a different organization to work. And he has now received scholarships to go overseas and a CETA award for the top serve. As a matter of fact, in this year we had 3 students nominated for awards at CETA this year. 2 were in the same category, so we couldn't give out 2 awards. But they've all done exceptionally well in their respective sectors. And one has left us. His name is Laurent Bodden. He's heading off to Johnson Wales to pursue more hospitality, and he wants to get into education too. So I'm going to be keeping a close eye on him for all his future endeavors.
And the other student,
yes. Now her name is Alicia Davis, and she is our Rising Star recipient from the CETA Awards, and she has excelled tremendously. She currently works at Cayman Luxury Villas, and she's always toting around all those expensive guests and putting them in these beautiful places that we have here on Cayman Islands, and she has really, really just taken off like a rocket. And I think that encapsulates a lot of the things that happen from our program, in that students now, once they realize how they can make their claim, once they realize how much money they can make, how much they can really improve their lives, they've really taken on to this. As a matter of fact, Lauren, who just went off, he got two tips at 2 separate times of over $1,000.
Wow.
Right? And so these are just guys who just perform exceptionally well and just continue to grow and develop, and they're hungry for learning, hungry for education, and that emulates quite a lot of our students who come through our programs over the years.
Okay. Now give us a little background information about the School of Hospitality.
Right. That's a good question. It came out of the Department of Tourism, Ministry of Education, and UCCI coming together and establishing an advisory council. The advisory council was led primarily by DOT and the Ministry of Tourism, and they pretty much put together a brief expectation of what they would love to see in the program, and they put together a curriculum to get us started. Then I was brought in 2014 to really get us up and running, and with the support of DOT and the Advisory Council, we've been able to make a difference in over 100 students' lives. All of the students who've come to our program, even when they have not graduated, have grown tremendously. From a professional perspective, from an image perspective, from just being hungry about being involved in the local economy, in the local market, and just making their claim. And that's most important for me, because as an educator and our team, one of the things we strive for is to ensure that each person who come into our program and come in under our supervision is moving forward in every aspect that we've identified they need to grow in. And they've all seemed to adapted to it. And what we find is that from the first 2 years, those who have moved on and gone on to do something else are coming back and say, hey, look, I want to go back to school now. What's my next step? And so we are building out these opportunities for persons to continue to develop, continue to grow, continue to really make their claim right here in the Cayman Islands.
Excellent. In the 5 years now that the school has been in existence, can we talk a little bit about the impact that the school has made so far? You've mentioned, some past students, and I'm sure that there are other stories to tell as well. But the impact that it has had on the students, but also the impact that it has had on the tourism and the hospitality sector as well.
Absolutely. One of the things that we've found to be happening is that the AHR managers in the sector are now coming to us. They're calling to say, look, we had one person for an intern. Do you have any more of those persons to come in? And we have a position that's open. And our placement office, which is run by Ms. Donnett Goddard, our Career Services Center, has really done a good job in terms of making sure students are being placed in the right areas. In our program, the first 3 months, students are allowed to look at different areas of hospitality. Even if you have an area that you particularly like, we have you look at other things in hospitality as well. So students who get a chance to look at culinary, food and beverage service, the general hotel operations, look at maintenance, they look at different aspects of hospitality. Then they're given a chance to say, okay, we have little interviews with them to say, look, based on what you've seen so far, what do you like? From one young lady doing that experience, say, you know what, I never thought I'd be in water sports. But you know what? I want to go to Red Sail Sports. This is where I need to be. And she was adamant. So because we always ask follow-up questions, she got annoyed. She said, this is where I want to be. And her career path initially was to become an auto mechanic. But just by being exposed to a different area, she found a new joy. And she really excelled at that to the point where she was just open up new doors and looking to do her own business now. And you find that, and that's one of the things we encourage students. We always try to inculcate in them an entrepreneurial spirit, so that even when you are between jobs or you decide to shift jobs, you should always be looking at opportunities to really create employment. And I think that's how we can really grow the economy. And with tourism growing in Cayman at a phenomenal rate, that's one of the things that they can really capitalize on. I have 4 students now who are looking to open their own restaurants.
Wow.
Right? I had to say to one young man, look, I know you're going to open your restaurant, but I need for you to also be always learning. Because we talk about lifelong learning. And he said, yeah. I said, listen, I'm going to come to your house if you don't come back to school. But it is just this intimate involvement from student services and our team that really try to keep the students engaged, locked in, and loaded to take advantage of opportunities available to them. Of course, we know funding is an issue. Of course, we know that these things come about. But persons are really looking to invest in them now. And I think that over time, we're going to see similar growth. There are barriers initially, and I think those barriers are being removed as we move along this pathway. And one of the things that we want to do is to really make effort to really, once you identify the barriers, we try to break them down and make them less of a restriction for persons to move forward. That's key for us.
So are we overcoming this whole myth? I call it a myth, but the whole view that Caymanians are no longer attracted to the tourism sector, that they want the banking jobs. And I keep hearing, people on talk shows talk about, Caymanians, not everybody is cut out to be a banker. The way that the banking industry is worldwide and is developing in the Cayman Islands, you're probably going to have people working in the back offices.
Yes.
But when it comes to being a bank teller and a loans officer and things of that nature, they're becoming obsolete now, really.
Yes, very, very much so. And one of the things we tell our students about it, we ask them a question. We screen our students before coming into the program. We want to look for persons who like talking to people, who just lower the fact of being in one spot just doing mundane tasks over and over again. In hospitality, there's no 2 days that are the same. None. And so our students, we look for those students who crave that kind of exposure. And with that screening process, we've been able to really have a better success rate, because then we can also guide those students who have those interests into programs that better fit those students, and we get students that we want for what we want to put them through. You see? And so that's been one of the things that really worked for our program, I think, over the years, to the point where now we've adopted a similar model for all similar certificate programs at UCCI. We're looking at setting up advisory councils now. So those industry persons are integrally involved in the program design. They automatically, by being involved now, have to support the internship opportunities of these students, and they have to really be actively involved as well. And we get a chance to hear from them and to feel how they're operating, see what they don't like. And each company has their own little idiosyncrasies and little preferences and so on. We get to work around that, so we realize that the student really can't go here because there's going to be a clash of personalities here. And our industry is so wide and varied that persons might like a Westin, but they don't like a Ritz-Carlton. They might like a Kimpton Seafront, but they don't like a Wyndham. And so we have to also learn about our students. So you spend time to really, we have a good idea now what each student, when they come into the program, will this one be a good fit for Ritz-Carlton, this one will be a good fit for West, and we then channel those students to those opportunities, so they don't become frustrated. Yes, they don't lose interest. And one of the things that I saw in the first 2 years of the program, students had gone to work and felt a little bit out of place because there are so many persons from different countries in the work environment. They couldn't relate. And so we have to do training on those aspects and prepare them even more for those exposure. So now when they go, they realize, okay, fine, it's not competitive. Yeah. And now they're making that situation say, look, if you're going to choose, then you're going to have to give me a real good consideration, because number one, I am Caymanian. Number two, you don't have to pay a work permit fee for me. And number three, I'm going to tell you about this country a lot more than other persons who just moved here and does not have that exposure and knowledge. And the reason why we really focus on it, and I must give DOT props on this, because when the program was established, one of the things that happened in the first 2 or 3 days of the program, students are taken on to the Pride and Know Your Caymanians training. So even if you don't know, you are automatically exposed. Yes. And that is riveted right through the whole year. We keep reminding the students about these areas. What happens? One of the things that we do as well is say, look, you're in Georgetown. How do you guide someone from Georgetown to get to Northside? Describe for me how you tell a person how they're driving. How do they get there? And each student have to really master that particular task before they moved on. You see? And with all those little things, they begin to know. Once you said to me, I never used to talk to guests in Georgetown. Now, I'm happy to see them. I'm communicating with them and make sure they're okay. One of the things that we do is send them to Georgetown and say, look, you're going to go and talk to 3 different tourists and ask them, where did they go while they're in Cayman? Did they enjoy their stay while they're in Cayman, and would they come back? Those 3 questions. And some students were really, really like, oh my God, I'm going to go to a stranger, talk to a stranger. But the first time they go, they realize, oh, it's not so bad. They talk to more than 3. More than 3. Yes. And so those are the things, albeit not scripted in the curriculum, are things that are soft skills that we get the students to really get into. And we find that makes them more confident, looking more at the impact. Any of our students, they come in now, and after a month you come and talk to them and ask them, okay, what do you think are some of the issues in tourism? And you got to be careful. They become so vocal at the things that concern them and this country that you're like, oh my God, you might become a politician. But it's just to really get them activated, because they have that within them, you see? And if we stoke the flame, stoke the interest, stoke the creativity, it begins to just blossom out. And I think our team feel like proud parents when we see our students coming through the program and how they've grown and how they've made their claim in respective areas. Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. I want you to think about this when we return. I want to talk a little bit about the application process. How can a person enroll in the school? But you also mentioned the clash of cultures in some organizations. Yes. And there was a time when it was the opposite way around, where you had preponderance of Caymanian staff, and those
foreigners coming in, the Caymanians had to make them feel welcome and make them feel comfortable. Now it's the other way around. And it's so ironic. And whether or not we need to extend some sort of sensitivity training in these institutions for their staff members who are not Caymanians to the incoming Caymanian staff to make them feel welcomed as well. Folks, please stay tuned for the record and a discussion with Mr. Wayne Jackson, the director of the School of Hospitality Studies here in the Cayman Islands, will continue after this short commercial break.
Have you seen the latest? Cayman has been ranked the most expensive place to live. It's time to buy smart. It's time to buy Ropers. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices at Ropers. Ropers Janitorial, 949-2511. Email janitorial@ropers.ky. Clean up your spending with Ropers Janitorial, 949-2511. Ropers Janitorial also offers complete janitorial service for commercial, industrial, and residential. They get the job done right every time. Ropers Janitorial, 949-2511.
It was a day that changed my life. No words can describe the feelings of seeing my baby boy sick for the first time. The overwhelming feeling of fear to be responsible for his health and happiness became my priority. So I did what any nurturing mother would do when their baby is sick. I took him to get some of the best medicine possible.
CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy understands the importance of careful decisions you make every day for your family. Our staff work towards healthcare excellence and providing the most current and up-to-date training with pharmaceutical care, so you can feel confident in knowing that your family is safe with the right medication. At CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy, we take care of your health.
I'm going to Vant Motors to test drive the new 7-seater Rush.
They have some really sweet deals going on now, not true?
Yep, on SUVs. And they sweeten the deal by giving you a warm oven-baked cookie with each test drive.
Better test drive more than one, just to be sure.
Take a test drive for a sweet surprise this month at Vant Motors. Test drive any SUV and receive a freshly baked cookie. It's our way of saying thanks for dropping by to check out our huge sale on every SUV in stock. Save up to $4,400 during Vant's summer SUV sale. That's every SUV in stock on sale for thousands off or cash back. Sweeten the deal only at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
At Logic, we make things better for our customers. It's why we're offering free Boost Wi-Fi. With Boost, you get improved Wi-Fi connectivity everywhere in your home, so there's no more dead zones. The only people we're not making this better for is parents. Because now, with seamless Wi-Fi in every room in your home, go to your room isn't really the punishment it used to be. Sorry about that. Sign up now for any Logic Bundle package and get free Boost Wi-Fi for a limited time. Visit logic.ky for details.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For our listeners and callers, I just want to let you know we're going to open the phone lines at about 8:45 to calls. We just want to give Mr. Jackson an opportunity to lay the groundwork for the discussion, provide you with the relevant information out there, and we will also give you an opportunity to participate as well in the conversation. Two questions or two issues that I raised before we went to the commercial break, Mr. Jackson.
Well, to apply to the program, persons can come to UCCI. We have the admissions all open and ready to receive you. So just you come down here today because we have things planned for students tomorrow and Wednesday. So you need to come down here today. I want to encourage parents too. What I find is that a lot of times parents are the ones who bring students down. So students oftentimes will say, I don't want to go, I don't want to do this. And once they've come to our program, they typically fall in love. We mentor and guide them throughout the process from September through to June and July, and even through the summer. As a matter of fact, they become part of our family from they joined us, and we keep tabs on them. And so we want to really bring them down. And if you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call or stop by to see me. My telephone number is 326-2958, or you can come to the hall in admissions, and anyone will know where to find me at any point in time. They usually track me down pretty easily. I think they have a GPS zoning on me somewhere. But we are there to support you 100% and your child award. And the reason for that is because we're very intimate with our students. We get to know the family, we get to know you, your sister, your siblings, everything. And support them every single way. We have students who have struggles in different areas, be it financial or other issues, and we ensure that they have a strong support system in place and mentors assigned to really hold them through their hand through these difficult things. And it's not a perfect world, but we've, not to pat ourselves on the back, but in the short time that we've been around, or student services, student life department, and the team has really committed themselves to really making the students attain their best potential possible, and that's key. That's really key. As the second question that you mentioned is as it relates to training the organizations, I think we have to. Right now, we have not a strong impact on those organizations. There are some HR managers and some organizations that are really working closely with us, and I think that's why we chose to work with our students initially, so that we can have them create an impact once they go in. So they'll say, the student there's just something about the student, and it's because of the regurgitation of the mastery they need to have, the little suave, the little finesse, the little charisma that they need to develop when they go into these sectors, because it's going to be something that's going to be necessary globally as well. We don't only prepare students for a local market, it's a global market for us. And so we prepare them with that in mind. And so it's important for us for them to really show mastery on those levels as well. So we really try to work with our students and those organizations. And I must say, I can name a few, like Grand Ole House and the Wharf has been exceptional. The West End Resort, the Ritz-Carlton and the Marriott too have been very, very groundbreaking in terms of working with these initiatives on the way out front, in terms of making sure that these fields, these barriers are not existent. And other companies are really coming on board as well, and I think it's catching on. And I think as we can expect, we don't expect it to be like that, a quick fix, but I think over time I'm very optimistic that we're going to be having a positive impact on this.
Excellent. Let's talk about the offerings at the school as well.
Well, we started with a certificate program initially, and we have grown to offer a whole suite of other things. The certificate really dovetailed into other areas because students begin to ask, what can I do next? What are some of the things that we want to do? And persons come in and say, I don't want to do a full certificate program. I just want to learn how to cook. So we have short cooking classes that persons can come in and do. We have a knife skill class that persons can learn to do, garmager skills. We have a cake decorating class that has really over the years just keep getting better and better. We seem to be getting more persons coming to do this course over and over again. It has two levels where you learn to bake a cake first, then you bring the cake you bake to class and decorate the cake, and then you've mastered those little piping techniques, and then you move on to something more intricate. And the students seem so energized every time when I look at the work that they produce. I can't believe that this person never baked or did anything like this before in their lives, and that creates a different level of interest as well. We have the designer program for persons who've been in industry for years and they want to come and be qualified in hospitality, so they can come to UCCI now and get into those programs as well. And it gives them, we're looking at prior learning assessment. So with that prior learning that they've attained, that skill that they've attained on the job for years and years and years, those will be going towards your credit allocation and expedite your time to complete a program at UCCI. So we have created these things, and I think one of the things we're looking at doing, just to give you a little snippet as well, we're building a program that will allow students to go overseas, and I'm in the process of nailing them down right now, and there'll be away for a semester. And they'll be putting on a trade show when you're away, promoting Cayman. So I'm just talking to another university in Canada, and we are working out the details, and pretty soon that will be coming out as well. So our students are going to be moving in different ways on different levels and doing different innovative things that other schools do, and we in Cayman, we might not have the funding and so on, but we can compete. And one of the things that we've done too is that with DOT's help, we've been able to compete at the CETA Colloquium Award in New York City, where 3 other schools are selected. Well, 4 schools are selected, after presenting a business plan. And then they're invited to New York to compete with other schools. And we have gone there in the past 2 years. 2 years, yes. And 3 years. And we've placed, the first year we placed third of the 4 schools. And we didn't know what to expect. And so we were like, this is how it works. Okay, we got this now. And since we've gone back, it's been pretty tight. First and second for us, to the point where one school last year said to us, you know what, I have to come and peep on you guys down there whenever this thing comes up, because you come with such innovation. But even just last week, I was talking to a colleague of mine who called and said, I've been trying to reach you. What are you doing in Cayman? I hear about what you're doing in New York at the CTO. And I said, it's not really me. It's just the commitment of our team members to students' excellence. And we're using students who are coming through certificate and associate degree program and competing strongly with a UA, with a Monroe College out of New York City, and UTEC in Jamaica, all the Caribbean schools. And we are making sure that we are heard, we are loud, and we have, of all the schools, the smallest population. Right? And so it's just as a measure of what we are doing at UCCI and making that impact in hospitality and tourism.
Okay. What about the importance of creating new opportunities for students who are looking to pursue studies or looking to pursue a hospitality career? We're seeing more and more businesses coming online, be it a restaurant, be it a bed and breakfast, be it a large-scale hotel, or even a set of condominiums being established as well.
I think the biggest pullback for our students is funding. And I think maybe we have to look at ways in which we can set up support for them, because they have fantastic ideas. One of the things with the CTO, they have to come up with a business plan with a new idea every single time. And the ideas these kids come up with are just like blown away, and we have to choose one of those ideas that we're going to take and go to the conference. And I think maybe we need to put together a focus group that would look at ways in which we can support them through these endeavors, and to really work with them and to have them flush out the ideas even further, because we don't have them long enough to really build on some of those things. And so they go off and they still have these dreams. As I said before, 4 of our students are looking to open their own restaurant. They are full-time employed, but they know that, okay, you know what, this is not mine. I need to open mine and do mine. And so we support them as much as possible. One of the things that I think helped us too over the last year is at UCCI we took over the canteen operations. So students get more hands-on, practical training. So the thing is, we struggled initially because we never had enough lab space. Okay. But even with the addition of a canteen now, students are going into these organizations are more skilled. Their knife skills are much better than what they were before coming to you. So the seeing where the program has adapted and grown, and they're saying, before your students would take a longer time, but now they're coming to us at a higher level, higher skill level. And I think the more we look at it, the more we run this show, we're tightening up the nuts and bolts in little areas. And I hope that within another couple of years, we're a pretty oiled machine. We're still looking for equipment. We're still looking for lab space and so on. And we've been working with the local high schools, which is close to us, to offset some of that. But it is integral that they get those hands-on exposure before they go into the industry, and so they're not set back or held back longer, And that's what we strive to do now in the program.
Now, on a few occasions you have mentioned funding. Let's talk a little bit about that in terms of the funding that you receive. The major part of your funding comes from government, is it?
Yes, our program is fully funded by the Department of Tourism, through the ministry, and they fund this year we have support for about 40 students. We are looking now, screening students. We have up to 34 students now selected for the program. And so as we go through the remainder of this week, we'll identify the remaining 6 persons for that cohort. And then we'll proceed to hold their hand and get them situated. And then they'll be made independent, strong students within a couple of months. And so I must say that their support over the years have not wavered. They have also been very instrumental in setting up an agreement with Johnson Wales University, where students who leave our school go on to Johnson Wales and they get a reduced scholarship. So say you have a GPA of 3.75, you get 40% tuition reduction from Johnson Wales. And that tuition is, that discount or that scholarship is graduated based on your GPA.
Okay.
So once you have a 2.5 GPA, you get maybe 20% discount from your tuition. So if you want a bigger discount, get a bigger grade.
Yes.
And that is also supported with DOT's MOT scholarship program, where they've given scholarship to those persons who've gone or going off to study. And not only that, we have companies too that also give students grant. Because with Laurent going off to Johnson Wales, he got a grant from McCormick of $5,000, and they also promise to give him a job when he comes back to work.
Wow! Wow.
So, and I think those are the things that we want to build out further, so that students can get to attain as much of a qualification that they want to attain, and over time we'll be able to have more of those persons occupying the landscape in Cayman, and then we're going to have some influence.
Excellent. We're going to take a commercial break again. When we return, we're going to have the phone lines open. I'll give you the numbers now. This way, during the commercial break, if you want to call in, 1-800-534-8255 is our toll-free number, 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp us on 925-3261 as well. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
I have various items coming from different suppliers that I need to ship to Cayman. Do you offer consolidation?
Yes. Seaboard Marine offers consolidation for full and less than container loads. We can hold your packages at our Miami warehouse until everything arrives and ship it all in one go. And we have the best rates to Grand Cayman. Visit seaboardmarine.com for more information.
Shipping shore to shore, Seaboard.
It was a day that changed my life. No words can describe the feelings of seeing my baby boy sick for the first time. The overwhelming feeling of fear to be responsible for his health and happiness became my priority. So I did what any nurturing mother would do when their baby is sick. I took him to get some of the best medicine possible.
CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy understands the importance of careful decisions you make every day for your family. Our staff work towards healthcare excellence and providing the most current and up-to-date training with pharmaceutical care, so you can feel confident in knowing that your family is safe with the right medication. At CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy, we take care of your health.
Tossing and turning, can't sleep? It's time to turn in your old mattress and go to bed with a new one. Take advantage of the Sealy Temper Labor Day savings at Brand Source Home Gallery. Browse the huge mattress showroom and pick the perfect Sealy Temper today at up to 40% off. Brand Source Home Gallery has tons of new inventory to choose from. You can also save $400 on select adjustable mattress sets, with mattresses in every size to suit every budget. Now's the time to save up to 40% and sleep better tonight with a new mattress from Brand Source Home Gallery. Dorsey Drive in Industrial Park. Call 623-5000. Sale ends September 7th.
In 1996, Rotary Club Central led the way, initiating a disaster fund to prepare and assist our community toward recovery. The Rotary Clubs of the Cayman Islands then expanded this valuable instrument, the Rotary Cayman Disaster Fund. Thereafter, Rotary District 7020, a group of 86 clubs over 10 countries in 16 islands across the Northwest Caribbean, grew this idea, the Rotary District 7020 Disaster Fund. Today, this Rotary Central idea has worked relief and recovery, assisting communities throughout this region. Rotary, with you before, during, and after. Rotary, connecting the world.
Work will soon launch Jobs Cayman, an online system that allows registered users to access job postings created by registered employers. This system offers a better approach to facilitate Caymanians in finding employment and allows employers to search for qualified and skilled Caymanians who are seeking employment. For more information on the registration process and what you need to register, visit www.worc.ky. Work, leading the pursuit of full Caymanian employment and economic prosperity for all through service excellence.
For the record, Record with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the Record with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Mr. Wayne Jackson, who's the director of the School of Hospitality Studies here in the Cayman Islands, located at UCCI. And we're talking about the hospitality school. Now, we know that there are repeated calls on this talk show and others as well by some people for the establishment of trade schools in the Cayman Islands. And there is one individual who advocates for a trade school eventually in each district, starting first with Georgetown and I believe it's Bordentown, and then moving them to other districts as well. But the School of Hospitality Studies is more than just a trade school. It's not. I don't believe that it is a trade school in its traditional sense.
Quite dynamic.
So let's talk a little bit more about it. Let's talk about some of the things that students learn and what they're exposed to during their course of study, the length of their course of study, and what can they look forward to afterwards. You spoke about the young man who's going off to, was it
Johnson
and Wales University, and has been virtually guaranteed employment when he returns to the Cayman Islands.
Pretty much. He started off, let's give his story. When he came to us, he knew about hospitality. He did not know what area he wanted to do in hospitality when he came to us. And our first semester, we allow our students to go look at different areas of hospitality and tourism that they might say, okay, I'm interested in this. I don't like cooking, but I like other areas. So we give them the other areas to look at. And he was one of those persons who said, let me look at other areas. His initial interest brought him to the whole idea of food and beverage because they're different. A lot of kids do this because of alcohol and interest of alcohol as well and so on. So the spirits got him. So when the spirits got him and he got into it, he realized that, this is just a lot more than, it's quite scientific, quite detailed. People underestimate the professionalism that comes with hospitality. They think that, okay, go do hospitality because it's easy. It's not easy. And he found out because he had to learn about the difference between different kinds of spirits. And also the different level of spirits, because you have top shelf and you have bottom shelf and how it's made. Also, he had to learn about wines, and he didn't realize how detailed wine knowledge was and had to be in our industry as well. And other than that, the whole idea of being able to calculate food costs and how important that food cost understanding is and so on is quite detailed, and to the point where he had to know pretty much how much what it would cost to produce an item, and also and therefore the difference in terms of selling it, and how do you arrive at those calculations.
And you need to know those, especially if you're going to go into business yourself.
So important.
You need to know whether or not you're going or coming when it comes to profit.
And so we show them all this, and of course, and so a different level of respect was gained from being exposed to that as well, and so he sought to pursue a career to become a director of food and beverage. Now, that is one of the highest paid positions in our hospitality industry because of the breadth of what you would have to manage.
And one that has been dominated, if I may interrupt, mainly by expatriates here in the Cayman Islands.
Yeah, and so we're preparing him also to compete in that regard. And McCormick saw his knowledge and ability and said, you know what, we're going to grab him from now and say, look, we want him to become a part of our operation. And I think what we find is going to happen is that more persons are going to come to us and say, we want to now begin to cherry pick these persons from early. We have a chef at the Marriott, and he from the moment he walked in there and got the job, he's not left at any point in time. He's now moved up to a near managerial level now within a matter of 4 years. In our industry, once you perform the task and you have the ability, you're promoted within 2 years. And so a lot of our students experience that in a year and a half once they're doing all the correct things, right? And I think and with the right support group and support systems, we're going to be able to do a lot more with them like that. And I think in that first exposure they got in the first semester, they get to see all the areas and they choose what they want to pursue. And we work with them in terms of finding a mentor, honing those skills, to make sure that they really like what they want to do. And they can even change in January when they come and say, look, you know what? I really thought I'd like this. I want to shift to something else. And we give them that exposure as well. And we keep that going for the year. When that year ends, they have a choice to either continue to go to work directly in the industry or continue studying or do both. And we really make sure that's done pretty much in May. So we know exactly which one is going. We know who is going to meet the graduation requirements. We know who we need to plan for to do resits and make sure that they're pretty much getting themselves organized like that. And then we have now a stepping path for them. To those who want to move on to an associate degree, before it used to be one jump from certificate to an associate. And that used to be a big jump for some students because you would never finish the volume of work at a certificate level that you would do at an associate level. So we had to prepare students. So we decided, okay, we create a step for them to go to that level. And
they're given them the credit based on from the certificate level credit towards their associates?
No, it sets a foundation. So when they go to the diploma level now, they're given those credits.
Okay.
And because they have the foundation knowledge, the course becomes easier. And they automatically check the box. And so by the time they get associate degree level now, they're now more confident, more comfortable. And the discussion in class is richer because they've had the experience. And so the instructors find that this is the feedback. The textbook, yes, it's informative. It forms the student, but the discussion is richer because they now have the practical experience. And many books are somewhat dated in respect. So the students are able now to discern and to realize that, hey, you know, this is a lot more than this, and this is more than that, you know. And that's key for us because we want to be able to always push the envelope with student learning in terms of developing the students to be the best that they can possibly be within the time that we have them in our presence. And I think that's one of the difference with our programs in terms of building that pathway, that they can see where the qualifications are. They can work methodically to get those qualifications and to map their pathway to their success that they've identified that they want to pursue.
Okay. Let's talk about the potential for the school. We spoke about funding earlier, and we know that money is a huge driver, behind everything. If you had a wish list for the hospitality school of hospitality studies, what would be the top of your wish list?
We would have our own hotel facility. We would have our own training, a nice kitchen training facility. We'd have a nice restaurant layout for our students. Be that as it is, we don't have that. So what it is, it allows us to be creative. We've worked with different the Guadalajara House is closed on a Monday. So they say, you know what, Mr. Jackson, you can come down on a Monday and use that big mistake. They shouldn't tell me that. I'm down there. So whatever opportunities that present itself, we really try and take it as much as possible because we realize that we're not going to have the glorified labs and have a hotel just yet. It takes time. And sometimes a benefactor might come along and say, you know what, we like what you're doing. You know what, we'll make you a hotel. This is Cayman. That can happen. I see it. And so we really will continue to develop our students, to work with them, to help them to be stronger, and so that they can go and make an impact. I mean, one of those students leave and say, you know what, this made me, I'm going to come back and give back to the school. And one of the things that we encourage our students to do as well, to be benevolent. You might not have much to give, but give your time. So they're encouraged to give community service, and we participate in beach cleanups, we do fun runs, we go to the old age home in town. What's it called again?
Pines Retirement Home.
The Pines, and they go there and do reading and do activities with the elderly. They go to Meals on Wheels as well, and those who have an affinity for animals go to the walk dogs and bathe them and do that kind of stuff as well. So we encourage that as well, and they have to complete about 50 hours doing that stuff, and it's logged, and we check and say, hey, you didn't do this. Get it done now. And so the students, by doing so, we ask them, what are some of the things you learned? You know, boy, I was tired, but when I got there and realized that, you know what, people need this. Or I felt good cleaning up the beach because it's my country. They're taking ownership. They're seeing the social issues that plague different areas of our society and are really having a voice.
So you're looking to build character as well, in when it comes to the school.
It is most important. We're building the total human being, so that one of the things we're not going to have any waste man or waste woman. My student taught me these words, waste man. I said, what is a waste man?
Yeah, I've never heard that term before.
And they said to me, and yes, that's a boy, sir, who don't do anything and he's just not coming out any good. I said, well, I'm going to use that. That's a very appropriate term. I said, none of you here will become a waste man or a woman, as a matter of fact, because someone of substance, someone of value in our community. And so our goal is to ensure that none of our students end up becoming a burden to society. Mm-hmm. None of our students are going to go out there and end up in any kind of situation that's going to embarrass us. So that's key for us.
Excellent. We have about half an hour left after we come back from the headline news at 9 o'clock, top of the hour. When we return, we're going to talk some about the faculty at the School of Hospitality Studies, and we're leaving the best for the last, the success stories. You've heard about some of them earlier, but we want to talk more about the success stories as well. So please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman's newsroom. These are the biggest stories right now.
After a man is bitten by a small nurse shark at a cull tournament on Saturday, the president of the Cayman United Lionfish League has strong words for divers who are feeding lionfish to sharks. Don't do it. On a Facebook post, he says he suspects that the shark involved in Saturday's incident had been taught to associate people with food after it was fed lionfish by local divers. Comedian and actor Kevin Hart has been taken to the hospital with major back injuries following a car crash in Los Angeles on Sunday. According to the California Highway Patrol, Hart was being driven in his 1970 Plymouth Barracuda at the time of the accident. The driver, Jared Black, lost control of the car and it tumbled into an embankment. Argentina has imposed currency controls in an attempt to stabilize markets as the country faces a deepening financial crisis. The government will restrict foreign currency purchases following a sharp drop in the value of the peso. Firms will have to seek central bank permission to sell pesos to buy foreign currency and to make transfers abroad. Argentina is also seeking to defer debt payments to the International Monetary Fund to deal with the crisis. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, Mr. Wayne Jackson, the director of the School of Hospitality Studies here in the Cayman Islands at UCCI. We're talking about the school, its activities. We're going to talk about the faculty as well. And I know that I recall when you were on the show previously, there were people who called up, expressed an interest and offering. They have worked in the hospitality industry before and wanted to impart their knowledge on to students and wanted to find a way to do that as well. So let's talk about your faculty.
We have faculty who've had a lot of years of experience in our industry, and they've been with us since 2014, since I've been here. And what we have done is use persons from the industry to come in and share their skills. Mm-hmm. So we'll contact a hotel or a restaurant and say, look, we're doing this activity. We need someone with expertise. So we find that chefs come in a lot. and persons who are leaders in their respective departments come in and share the knowledge and actually mentor the students. When they come in, they realize that, okay, I'll take a student with me and I'll work with the student and I'll find out. Students say, look, this is what I want to do. What you do is what I want to do. And by having those guest speakers coming in and sharing their experience, their expertise, and most importantly, that it wasn't a quick sprint to where they got to in their particular career. And we have quite a few Caymanians who come in and share as well. And they have given the students perspective and let them know that, look, this is how I did it. This is what I think you need to do. And this has been really, really helpful for the students and really imparted knowledge from someone who, number one, as young as them, we try to get them within the same age group. We also get persons who are older who can say, you know what, slap you inside the head when you're doing this kind of thing, And so we use a good cross-section of persons to come in and share the knowledge and to share their pathway and let them know that, look, sometimes it's not easy. You've got to be determined and be hungry for this and to stay focused.
Okay, we have a caller on the line. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. For the Record, and good morning to your guest, Mr. Jackson.
Morning, Doc. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm Steve McFeel here. Mr. Jackson, I just would like to make a comment first and then ask you a few questions.
Yes, sir.
Some years ago, when I was with the Airport Authority, the Airport Authority, I can't remember what it is now, but there was a post at in Montego Bay for all the executives of the airport authorities all over the Caribbean and Latin and South America. And we attended, there was 5 or 6 of us attended from the airport authority in Grand Cayman. Our head of our delegation was Fred Sambola.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to a place called Iberostar.
Yes.
It's a hotel in Montego Bay with 1,000 rooms.
Yes, sir.
And it had just opened 3 months when we got there.
My student is the manager there,
Pardon me?
My student is the general manager there.
Well, let me tell you what happened when we got there. Our vouchers had to be signed by the manager, and so the lady at the desk told us to sit around. He would be there soon to help us.
Mm-hmm.
So we sat there, and this man came up, and he says, "Are you looking for the manager?" We said, "Yeah." We said, "We're looking for the manager." He said, "Are you looking for the manager?" And we said, "Yes, we're looking for the manager." And then we were we try to help us.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "I'm the manager." And we were surprised. We couldn't believe it was the manager. He was blacker than our shoes. And I said right away, I said to myself, that will never happen in Cayman, a 1,000-room hotel, and you have a black manager. That would never happen in Cayman Islands in a million years. And then as we started inquiring about the hotel, every staff there were Jamaicans. They were all trained from the bartender to the housekeeper to the people making up the beds, from the people doing the massage on the beach. They had 3 big restaurants there. One called a Cajun restaurant, one called a Japanese restaurant, and one called American Steakhouse. And they had a show called Yamaka that they put on every night.
Mm-hmm.
And we couldn't believe.
Yes.
So I was asking these people, I said, this hotel is only 3 months old.
Mm-hmm.
What happened here? They said, well, we got training to prepare us for the opening of the hotel.
Yes.
Yeah. Why doesn't that happen in Cayman? Why do you have to get a degree? Because none of those people that I know that I was talking to had any degree or had gone to university or college. They just got training.
Mm-hmm.
And so, this whole myth that you have to get all these degrees, because when I was growing up, and somebody was reminding me just yesterday, I went to the cricket match down at West Bay, and somebody reminded me about the old Galleon days, the old La Fontaine days. Those Caymanians had degrees. They were great bartenders, great servers. They were great in the dining room. They even had chefs who learned on the job. They even had mechanics and engineers who were Caymanians. The whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just said that you didn't have a rooms for. You didn't have any mock-up and any mock-up for a hotel in your classroom. Let me ask you one thing. Do you believe in PP, public-private partnership?
Yes, I do, and I'll tell you why I believe that. In our market currently, what prevails now is the people are going to be using the qualification as a selection criteria. Why? It's just the nature of things, how things has progressed here in Cayman. And the reason for that, it says, okay, fine. If I have a qualification, says, okay, you are automatically trainable, right? And that's the investment that they would make in terms of making that kind of assumption. And I don't, for it to work here in Cayman at this point in time, we need to have that kind of partnership because of the landscape and what we have. We don't want to be combative. We want to be cooperative as well. And I think our students we have to make sure that they're strategic as well, because they can't go out there and be loud and vociferous as well. We have to be very, very strategic, plan appropriately, and just to maneuver in a manner so that we don't indicate right now we come to take over, but it doesn't matter over time where we will take over. And I think you don't go yelling from the mountaintops early enough because you're going to get resistance. And I think when we started off 5 years ago, we just pretty much covered over maybe 130-something students come through our program. That's not enough to really begin to make a strong claim yet, right? Our goal is to prepare persons to get into different levels of leadership. Once you get into leadership, then the rhetoric will change. We'll be able to articulate more strongly and to have more persons in a position of influence who's going to listen to us and be able to act on that and on our arguments. Right now, we're just working to get those persons aligned to move into those key areas. And it will take time to really have what's happening in Barbados, in other Caribbean countries like Jamaica and so on, and Bahamas, for example, to really prevail here. It takes time, it takes commitment on all parties, the employers, the legislative arm of the country as well, and students who really prepare themselves and say, look, yeah, and I have the qualifications, I meet all the requirements, I must be seen and selected, right? And we are making that headway now, but I think that's one of the better ways of handling it and moving it through so that we can get it done.
Okay, Doc, still here?
We need time. We already had it. We already had the foundation. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to public-private partnerships, this is what I mean. We have the land. We have the Caymanian people, through their government, own some of the best lands on the 7 Mile Beach.
Yes.
I think that they should utilize those properties and put up their own hotel with a public through a public-private partnership, and then they would have places for their children and their grandchildren to work.
I agree with that as well.
And for their children to work. But we do not have the fortitude. The people who run the country does not have the fortitude to say, this is the end. I am not allowing this. The first cohorts of foreign workers came here around 1983 when the I think it was the Hyatt opened. And they told, and then they broke down the places like the Holiday Inn, and they told all of those people that they were going to go to these new hotels, but because they were 5-star hotels, they were going to bring people in to train them, and they brought people from Ireland, brought them from the United States, they brought them from all, and they never brought the Caymanian people into the system. They pushed them out, and then not to the hotels, but the restaurants say, well, if you're going to do that, we need to bring workers from outside too. Mm-hmm. And then they found a way to reduce the wage scale, to reduce the wage scale, to pay them very little, because the countries that some of these people come from, $4.50 an hour US, it's a lot of money to them. Mm-hmm. The miners can't live off that kind of money. And this is if you study what happened after 1838 in Jamaica and all those places, after our emancipation was 1835. Jamaica was 1838. If you look at the parallels there, it's similar to what's happening now in modern days. In those days, when they emancipated slaves would not work for the cheap laborers. They brought people from China and from India to cut the sugar cane. That's what they did. They brought cheap labor from outside, from Asia. We're doing the same thing today. It's a parallel. The more profits that they can get, is the more profit they will want, and if they find a way to eliminate the Caymanian person because they can't deal with him because he is not a indentured servant to them, they'll bring in the people from different places, pay them $4.50 an hour U.S., and they're happy with that, and they find every way to say, people came out, now we have to have an associate degree, you have to have this. I just didn't have a degree. I didn't have a degree when I went to work on the ship, and they taught me how to run the engines, and I became a junior engineer on the ship. Yeah. And I didn't have any degree from anywhere. I came out other than Mary Street, and so there's men from the standing north side and born down. The first time they wear shoes and had a long pants when they went off to sea and got and gone. But you said that we can't do this today. That was over 50 years ago.
Okay.
We are going to wait. We keep waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting.
Okay. Doc, we're going to ask you to leave us there. We have another call that we have to accommodate. And I know, Mr. Jackson, that you're limited in terms of what you say because you're not the policy maker. You're just there to educate. But Dr. McField has some very valid points, and unfortunately, because of your position, you're unable to comment on some of those as well. I believe we have another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Oseen. Good morning to you guys.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning,
How are you?
sir. Just wanted to comment briefly on Mr. McField. I totally agree with every word he has said. And if we don't get a grip on what is happening in this country, right, we have no future to look forward to. Our kids have no future. And it's really, really scary how our politicians, they can't be thinking, right? They're one-day politicians. I just did quite a bit of traveling overseas, and I went to England, and I've seen no Caymanians working in England. I've seen, maybe it was where I went, I've seen no Filipinos. I went to Jamaica, and I didn't see one Caymanian or one Filipino working in Jamaica, not even at Cayman Airways counter in Jamaica. I've also just traveled to Tampa. Okay? I haven't seen one Caymanian or one Filipino working in any part of Tampa, and I did a lot of driving during the time I was there. Okay? And Cayman Airways don't have one Caymanian in the airport at the Tampa-based Cayman Airways. Now, this is sad for what is happening to this country. And these politicians need to wake up. We cannot fix the unemployment world. We're only a certain size, and we can only accommodate a certain amount. So we need to get a hold of this right now. Stop trying to please the world and do everything and give them everything they want. We cannot do it. America can't even do it, much less Cayman. All right?
Thank you.
So thank you very much, gentlemen, and have a good day.
Thank you very much, caller,
Thank you so much
for that as well. Well, again, we have another caller? Okay, let's take the caller. Caller, clock's gone out on me there. Okay, yeah, we're going to take a commercial break, caller. We're going to ask you to hold on. We've reached that time where we need to take a commercial break. As soon as we return, we will take your call. Please stay tuned.
I'm going to Vant Motors to test drive the new 7-seater Rush.
They have some really sweet deals going on now, not true?
Yep, on SUVs. And they sweeten the deal by giving you a warm oven-baked cookie with each test drive.
Better test drive more than one, just to be sure.
Take a test drive for a sweet surprise this month at Vant Motors. Test drive any SUV and receive a freshly baked cookie. It's our way of saying thanks for dropping by to check out our huge sale on every SUV in stock. Save up to $4,400 during Vant's summer SUV sale. That's every SUV in stock on sale for thousands off or cash back. Sweeten the deal only at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
Have you seen the latest? Cayman has been ranked the most expensive place to live. It's time to buy smart. It's time to buy Ropers. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices at Ropers. Ropers Janitorial, 949-2511. Email janitorial@ropers.ky. Clean up your spending with Ropers Janitorial, 949-2511. Ropers Janitorial also offers complete janitorial service for commercial, industrial, and residential. They get the job done right every time. Ropers Janitorial, 949-2511.
In 1996, Rotary Club Central led the way initiating a disaster fund to prepare and assist our community toward recovery. The Rotary Clubs of the Cayman Islands then expanded this valuable instrument, the Rotary Cayman Disaster Fund. Thereafter, Rotary District 7020, a group of 86 clubs over 10 countries in 16 islands across the Northwest Caribbean, grew this idea, the Rotary District 7020 Disaster Fund. Today, this Rotary Central idea has worked relief and recovery, assisting communities throughout this region. Rotary, with you before, during, and after. Rotary, connecting the world.
So what you saying, Brownie? You looking concerned about something?
It's okay. I hear some people talking about the new cruise burden thing that can cause a lot of harm in Georgetown and Hogstye Bay and even to 7 Mile Beach. They're saying it should be built some other part of this island. Now, what you think about that?
Well, my darling child, our old-time captains had good sense, you know. They know why they chose Hogstye Bay for the harbor. So why go someplace else now?
That's kind of true, you know. But what about the dredging?
Don't you worry, there'll be no dredging in Hogstye Bay. Them piers are going way out in deep water and they're being built on pilings, so all the water and all them pretty fish will still be flowing back and forth.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm feeling real good about this cruise burden thing now. This is a win for Cayman.
Sure is, Brownie. That's why Asuke supports the port and supports tourism.
Support our port, support our tourism.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Mr. Wayne Jackson, the director of the School of Hospitality Studies here in the Cayman Islands. And we have a caller on hold. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Thanks for being so patient.
Good morning, OC, and good morning, Mr. Jackson. Yeah, no problem.
Good morning, sir.
As OC, as you know, I came even before the dates that Dr. McField mentioned.
Precisely, yes.
So I've been around a while. My roots are in hospitality, and as such, I still understand the language, and I know a lot of West Bay people that have been in hospitality and young ones that have been trying to get into it.
Yes.
And I'm hearing all kinds of horror stories, unfortunately. And none of them actually concern the school or the study, but it concerns the attitudes that are in the public domain because of what they hear is being transpires.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I would like to ask Mr. Jackson the following. As he said, the training at the hotel training school is in phases, and eventually the students or apprentices, whichever way you want to name them, have to go out in the field and get the practical part to the education and training.
Yes.
Now, my question is, to what extent do you feel that you actually have the support of the hotels, of the management in the hotels?
Well, one of the things we do is we work closely with the direct supervisors for the students. If the manager can support, and we find that if the manager supports and then the persons below him does not support the students, we have a problem. And we experienced that in the first year of the program. So we decided to work more intimately with the persons who directly supervise the students, and that gives us better results.
Okay.
Because so that now gives us, and those persons are brought in to talk to the group as a whole. They get to meet those supervisors and managers that they're going to be working with closely, and the relationship is built. It's a little bit so that we can offset that kind of bias that might come up or situation that might occur, and we find that works best for us.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because those are precisely the kind of stories that come to my ears, that once the Caymanian, the young Caymanian or not so young Caymanian, enters the workplace, there is an element of fear arising among the people that are here on work permits and don't like the idea of having to leave.
We've seen that. We've
And
seen persons who take our students and they don't want to show them anything. So we have to really be very hands-on. It's a very hands-on approach that we have taken to really circumvent this issue.
Have you been able to do that?
Yes.
Okay.
It's what we do, and we just visit randomly as well. It's not just a matter of lip service. We just turn up and just walk into the establishment and look around and see, because they give us full access. You see, that's part of our arrangement.
Oh, that's excellent. I'm glad to hear that, because I've been hearing items of very toxic environments where infractions are being manufactured to prevent promotion.
I'm sure there are.
And just to block advances. And the other thing that I'm concerned about is the quality of the mentors in the hospitals. We have a preponderance of low-cost employees being imported from all over the world, and while they may be qualified to do a certain aspect of a given occupation, they're not really the quality of mentor you need to train a new person in a full sense of the occupation. You were earlier elaborating on all the aspects of food and beverage management, and almost every discipline that falls into that category has itself a lot of aspects that you need a qualified person to actually mentor that pupil to a professional level. So I'm really hoping that the immigration will also take a look at that as to the applicants for work permits, how well qualified they are to give you or your students the kind of mentorship that they require in order to be globally competitive.
It's a very selective process we've gone through. I mean, sometimes you pick some persons and you realize that, you're as sharp as I want you to be. And so it's a process that revolves, and over time, we have created a list of persons who are truly genuine, high professionals who've demonstrated over time consistently the ability to really meet the expectations and be good mentors. So we've gone through that process of identifying those persons, and we've just sifted aside those persons who we know you have not, or you're not checking the boxes how we want it to be checked. And you won't know. You have to take someone in, and some persons who might appear to be very qualified turn out sometimes to be some of the person like, you wish you did not even put them in contact with the students. But it's a matter of going through the gears, and so we can find the right persons.
May I ask you how many students you have out in the field at this time?
I can give you our last check. We had roughly about 38 directly employed full-time persons, and we have roughly about maybe another 30 part-time completing studies as well.
How many people do you have that actually can do those things, the policing that you just mentioned?
We have about 4 of us who does that.
Okay, may need to beef up that number a bit. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller.
Thank you, sir.
Very, very good questions. And any other comments you want to make in relation to the callers?
I think the concern is well founded, and I think it's as I said, it's a matter of time. We just want to keep working consistently and to be very committed in terms of focus on our goals, be very strategic in terms of how we get those goals, and to do so in a very strategic manner. It's going to be important for us.
Okay, we're going to take another commercial break, and I know you're scheduled to leave at 9:30, but there's something else that I want to talk about before you leave. You mentioned on a few times this morning the desire to have something like a training hotel, a training place for. And I want to talk about the pros and cons of that, because there are some jurisdictions in the Caribbean, for instance, that have tried that and have not been as successful in it. And how do we sort of not necessarily guarantee, but how do we try to ensure that such a venture, if attempted in the Cayman Islands, is successful, taking into consideration the competitive nature of the industry here in the Cayman Islands? Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
In 1996, Rotary Club Central led the way initiating a disaster fund to prepare and assist our community toward recovery. The Rotary Clubs of the Cayman Islands then expanded this valuable instrument, the Rotary Cayman Disaster Fund. Thereafter, Rotary District 7020, a group of 86 clubs over 10 countries in 16 islands across the Northwest Caribbean, grew this idea, the Rotary District 7020 Disaster Fund. Today, this Rotary Central idea has worked relief and recovery, assisting communities throughout this region. Rotary, with you before, during, and after. Rotary, connecting the world.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
Hi, I'm thinking of buying a car from the States. Which port do you ship out of?
Hi, we ship out of Miami, Houston, and Brooklyn. Just let us know your port of choice and we can provide you with a quotation and answer any questions you may have on insuring and protecting your vehicle during its journey.
Shipping shore to shore, Seaboard.
Sometimes things just don't go as planned. That's why you need Contractors All-Risk Insurance from Fidelity Insurance Brokers. Ensure you're covered in the event of property damage and third-party injury or damage claims during your construction projects. And with Fidelity Insurance Brokers, you can be sure you are getting competitive pricing and superior customer service. Call us today for a free quote. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Billboard pop hit songs and more from the 70s to the 90s.
RC Fusion.
Weekdays from 10 a.m. till 12. RC Fusion.
Yar, brought to you by Pirates Week, the Cayman Islands National Festival, celebrating 42 years of fantasy, history, and fun.
Congratulations, it's a boy.
During the greatest events of your life, whether or not you have the right health insurance coverage should be the last thing on your mind. That's why at Fidelity Health, we are committed to helping you get matched with the right plan to suit you and your family. We offer a range of plans to suit your budget, plus access to a network of quality care throughout the Caribbean and the USA. You can relax and enjoy life's greatest moments when you are covered with Fidelity Health. Call us today at 949-7822 for a free quote.
In 1996, Rotary Club Central led the way initiating a disaster fund to prepare and assist our community toward recovery. The Rotary Clubs of the Cayman Islands then expanded this valuable instrument, the Rotary Cayman Disaster Fund. Thereafter, Rotary District 7020, a group of 86 clubs over 10 countries in 16 islands across the Northwest Caribbean, grew this idea, the Rotary District 7020 Disaster Fund. Today, this Rotary Central idea has worked relief and recovery, assisting communities throughout this region. Rotary, with you before, during, and after. Rotary, connecting the world.
Hey, are those new glasses on Will?
Yeah, we went to Optical Outlook. Wham, bam, easy exam. Finally, an exam he could pass. And we had the glasses the next day. Easiest part of our back-to-school shopping for sure.
Book your child's eye exam today at Optical Outlook. Call 746-2020. Get half off a complete pair of glasses with any student's eye exam, now extended to September 14th. Come see the difference with Optical Outlook, located in Caymanian Village.
Terms and conditions apply.
Headlines.
With the latest headlines.
Headlines.
All the news when you want it. Tune in to Radio Cayman for hourly headlines of the day's top stories.
One of Cayman's bright and shining young stars.
Local, regional, international.
Headlines.
Turning to international news. Updates on the hour between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. on weekdays. Radio Cayman News.
Headlines.
Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the Record with Orrett Connor continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with us still, and he's going to stay beyond the 9:30 dateline that we had for him, is Mr. Wayne Jackson, the director of the School of Hospitality Studies here in the Cayman Islands. We want to talk a little bit about training schools in many instances, government-sponsored and supported training schools. In the BVI, for instance, in 2005, the government of the British Virgin Islands purchased a struggling hotel called the Prospect Reef Hotel and Resort. They purchased it for $6 million with plans to convert it into a government-owned hospitality training center. But instead, it ended up falling into disrepair despite promises from successive governments to sell it or to develop it, mainly to develop it as a hotel training school. In Bermuda, I believe the one in Bermuda was the one developed by the Bermuda College as well. I'm not sure whether or not that is still in existence. I know in the mid-1990s, I had the opportunity to visit Bermuda, to go to that training school at that point in time, and it was operating, quite well.
It still is operating,
as well. So we see in one instance it's been successful, in others it isn't. How much support? Let's talk about the pros and cons of it.
Right.
How much support is needed by government? How
Right.
much support is needed by the private sector for it to be successful?
From my experience and what I've seen prevail across, let's say, the Caribbean, then once government gets involved and it becomes public funds, it becomes very complicated. And what I find happening as well is that once the change in administration, the change in decision-making process, and all of a sudden the project failed because of that. While on the contrary, if you look at private institutions that set up their schools, you find that those schools are still operating. They're still operating in a very prudent manner, and they're actually educating students. So why would government intervention don't work while private ones work? And so we've got to look at that. So the private ones tend to use instructors in addition as operation personnel as well. And that's one of the things that really permeates through all the successful hotel schools that are around. While with the government intervention, they want to identify key persons to manage a project, and it becomes quite complicated. And so as educators, we don't like things that are quite political sometimes. We just want to focus on the students. And so the project end up getting sidelined because of personal reasons most times. So we really want to look at a model that really works for us, because we want to have something that the students are going to benefit from, the learning outcomes. That's going to be significant for us. So not just getting a building is going to be important, it's just also how it's going to be operated. And of course, if you're going to be spending public funds on this entity, the public are going to want to have involvement and oversight, and that sometimes complicates things. Not that you want to have free reign and free will, but you find that sometimes it creates a hindrance in school becoming successful. Actually, not even becoming successful, actually opening up and operating, because it becomes so bottlenecked in so many issues that it never actually gets off the ground. And you see that permeate itself across many other jurisdictions. If you go to Barbados, they have a very good program, and it's operated by the university that runs it. In Jamaica, at UTEC, they have their own independent restaurant that's operated by the school itself. It's not, and it does well, continues to provide learning opportunities. The same thing at UWI. And also there's some other universities in Jamaica who have their own hotels that are actually doing really, really well. And they are running year upon year and improving service standards, improving the end product as well. So we would love to have that, but of course we know UC said all that kind of money to go and develop that kind of learning institution now. And I think we are looking also to develop other vocational training arms as well. So it's key for us to really try and build all those areas, not just for hospitality, but for the electrical, for the plumbing, for the HVAC, for all those trades that we know are relevant to Cayman as well. So we are looking at those things and really to really give students who want to come to our institution more things to pursue, more employable options. Education has changed years upon years, and I think, yes, employers need that qualification now. Yes, I recognize that back in the day you did not have to have that, but you have to have good work ethic. You have to have the good attitude. We find that a lot of students, sometimes they come out, they are just oblivious to some of these things, and we really have to try and inculcate that behavior so that they can master this behavior. So when they go to the workforce, that's not an issue. Because that's one of the first things they look for. Did you show up on time every day? Are you showing an interest in what you're learning? Are you enthusiastic? Are you being positive in the work environment? And sometimes students here, they're affected. We find that they're so affected by the devices. They're happy this moment, and the very next they're unhappy because someone didn't say something, or the person didn't respond right away. And so all those things are taken into consideration, and we try to envelop those into the whole development aspect of the student.
Okay.
In this generation.
We have another caller who has joined us by phone. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Orrett Connor.
Good morning, sir. I was wondering when you were going to call in.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Jackson.
Good morning, sir. How are you this morning?
Okay.
Good.
Well, we have 600 students graduating every year.
Yes.
Is government focusing on that amount of students, and how many of those students would like to be in the hospitality trade?
We have taken on ourselves to really go into SciFec and John Gray, Clifton Hunter, and Layman Scott High School to really begin to sensitize the students about a career in hospitality. We make sure to go to their career fairs almost every year. We really spend a lot of time in SciFec especially as well, because some students there go into the hospitality and tourism BTech option there. And we speak to those students every year, sometimes 4 times for the year, as guest speakers, as persons who would expose them to different skills in the industry as well, and different pathways so they can actually choose to pursue hospitality. And what we find is that we get about maybe 70 of those students coming over to hospitality in different aspects throughout all our programs. And maybe half of those kids who have the passes go on to a dual enrollment program at UCCI, and we get some of those in hospitality as well. And I think since I got here, we've been able to increase that amount of impact across all our programs, as opposed to what we just started in 2014, 2013.
You still there, caller?
Yes, I have another question.
Sure. Go.
When it comes to work permits, people who are on work permits at this time, who are doing this work, and they're on work permits, is your department checking to see if there are any Caymanians qualified to take those positions, so that they're not able to renew a person's work permit?
Well, we're not resourced to do that aspect. We've looked at the numbers, and we know that we need to educate more students to begin to fill the needs of the market. But we've not really spent the time to really look at that qualitatively. We don't have the resources to do that. I think that's something we have to maybe allocate more resources to do, to look into that aspect as well.
Well, that's why we have to do this in a more professional way, and that is trade schools. That we are able to have more students studying at the same time, and that government does not continue thinking that the finances collected from the immigration department is more important than training our Caymanians. and our young people to qualify for this work, because if we keep renewing work permits over and over and over and over and over for individuals, then our young people are not going to have any chance of taking those positions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller, for that. One of our listeners has written in and also said that the Cayman government also purchased a small hotel to become a hospitality training facility in West Bay. I believe they may be referring to the Old John Silver's hotel and restaurant
I heard about that.
in West Bay, which got destroyed during Hurricane Ivan, and because of the need for housing, especially for persons who could not afford apartments and were basically left living out in the open, that facility was converted into government-owned apartments, and people were housed there in addition to the trailers that we had. Not to say that that is what prevented it from becoming a hospitality school, but that's a part of the history of that particular property as well. We're going to take a last commercial break. When we return, we want to talk about some more of the successes of the School of Hospitality Studies here in the Cayman Islands. You heard about two students who unfortunately could not be with us this morning, but I'm sure that there are stories, many other stories of successes as a result of their experience at this school as well. So when we return, we will be talking more about those. So please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Can I send a request, please?
You don't really have to ask us. Just send a request.
This is a shout out to my ex.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
89.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecasts, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advanced notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman, 89.9 FM.
In 1996, Rotary Club Central led the way initiating a disaster fund to prepare and assist our community toward recovery. The Rotary Clubs of the Cayman Islands then expanded this valuable instrument, the Rotary Cayman Disaster Fund. Thereafter, Rotary District 7020, a group of 86 clubs over 10 countries in 16 islands across the Northwest Caribbean, grew this idea, the Rotary District 7020 Disaster Fund. Today, this Rotary Central idea has worked relief and recovery, assisting communities throughout this region. Rotary, with you before, during, and after. Rotary, connecting the world.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, we have Mr. Wayne Jackson, who's the director of the School of Hospitality Studies here in the Cayman Islands at the UCCI. We're going to keep the phone lines open for a little bit longer if anyone wants to call in. Meanwhile, we're going to have Mr. Jackson tell us about some more of the success stories emanating from the activities of the School of Hospitality Studies. Mr. Jackson.
Yes, one of the things that we're looking at doing is we've done, well, the last year every year I've had a student come into our program who has a child. Every year. This year we had a student come into our program with a baby, and every year I said, you know what, you are going to graduate on time. And I've never been able to get those persons to graduate on time because the issues of life is so great that the person have never been able to get over it. And I said, okay, this year we're going to make it happen. And this student came in, she had a baby. Sometimes I sat with the baby, I held the baby. But she was so committed because from day one, we said, look, this is what you're going to do. What do you need for us to do to support you to make sure you're going through the program? And she got 2 job offers while she was already working at one particular place. Mm-hmm. And so she was able now to pick and choose where she wants to go and study. She's now pursuing a business degree at UCCI, not hospitality, but the key thing is that she has now succeeded at getting employment, which she could not have gotten before. Mm-hmm. She struggled with that, and now that she has employment, she's now pursuing her academic dreams, whatever areas that might be for her. And she was our top student last year. The person who was second to her last year is a food and beverage person, and she was really... The first person was Brianna Espino, and the second one now is Deidreana Bodden. And Deidreana was really... When she first came into the program, like, Deidreana, you're not so involved, not so bubbly, and you're not so engaged. And by the time we got to December, she began to show herself, and she really just took on the whole notion of service and how she can excel that. And she's really just knocked everything out of the park. She was just professional, hands-on. One of the things I've always struggled with our program is we don't get enough males in our program.
Okay, interesting.
And that was something that for me that is a struggle. And the sad thing is that when males typically stop attending school after high school, it's difficult to get them to go back to school. And to get them to stay, because as far as they're concerned, they need to go out there and find something to do if they're not going to study and buy a car or those little things that interest them. You know, they don't want to really invest in their personal development that much. And so for us, it's always been a passion of mine to keep the boys engaged as much as possible. And that's why I talk about Lawrence so much, because he was a top student in the program where we had 80% females in the program. And that's really unusual. We've not had a top boy since. Joe was pretty close one year, but he got beat out just a little bit. But Joe is now another one of our top students. He works at the Ritz-Carlton. And Joe is really just a phenomenal, very dynamic young man. You'll get to meet him soon. And what Joe has done is really showed us that, you know, with his vocabulary, his ability to articulate himself in a very, very, very unique way. I think he's a lawyer, you know, and I think he's now the president of our hospitality club at UCCI, and he's now going to be mentoring some of our students. He's doing an associate degree at UCCI on a part-time basis while working at the Ritz-Carlton as well. And he is really, really one of those students who's going to be going places. His name is Joe Brown. And he was on another program with us, and he was just blown away they were just blown away with just how his level of intellect and how he was able to handle all the questions and to be able to share his dreams and aspirations for this country and himself. And I really think Joe's one of those persons Joe, Laurent, Alicia, Brianna, Deidreana, for example, are just some of those persons who are really going to be those key influencers in the coming years once they've been able to get into the levels that they're aiming for, be it personally in organizations or just from an organization-wide involvement. And I think we're going to see those impacts coming through in a couple of years.
Okay, and we had one of our callers, Dr. Macfield, speak about, you know, in the early days of tourism here in the Cayman Islands, what occurred as well. And I just want to point out to our listening and viewing audience and unfortunately, I couldn't find the article this morning from the Trade Winds newspaper, but T.E. McField, Mr. We used to refer to him as Teacher McField, Timothy Emmanuel McField at the secondary modern school, developed night classes gave classes for the tourism industry as well, and there were many people who passed courses there, were employed by the hotel industry at that point in time as well. So while there may not have been any fully formally established institution for it, Teacher McField did develop a program, a night classes, for them as well.
We're following his mold by doing the same thing at UCCI, Teacher McField. So you are a pioneer in this endeavor, and we want to just continue to emulate what you're doing. Maybe you should come down and have a talk with our students.
Well, he's passed on now.
He's passed away.
Teacher McField,
my
unfortunately.
apologies.
Okay, I want to give you an opportunity for some final comments, Mr. Jackson, before we close the show off.
We want to just encourage anyone who wants to learn more about our program to come down to UCCI. If you want to register a student or you yourself want to get enrolled in our programs, come on down. Admissions all is open all day today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. We'll be able to assist you with getting that sorted. If you need more questions answered about the programs we offer or how best you can get started, give us a call or come on down again. They'll be able to locate me or put you in touch with someone who will be able to assist you to get started as well. Mm-hmm. It's truly an exciting time to be in hospitality. And I think UCCI also has other programs that you might be interested in as well. So come on down and take a look. There's a whole suite of vocational programs that have been launched as well, and some connect courses that are really, really going to be exciting. And we're going to be doing a few free classes on a Saturday at UCCI. So stay tuned. Come on out and learn something new. And we want to show you more about hospitality. So hang on in there. And whenever you hear those notices come out, we're only going to take a few persons in those free classes. So listen keenly so that you can actually get a chance to enroll in those classes and be involved to see for yourself what's happening at UCCI.
Excellent. I want to wish you all the best in your future endeavors. We want to continue to encourage those persons who want to update their skills or want to hone their skills or want to expand the range of their skills, as well, to take advantage of these opportunities as well. We also want to encourage the business community to become more involved, more engaged in this venture as well, because it can only be more beneficial to you, as well. We know that here in the Cayman Islands, there are some companies who benefit from the cheap labor and benefit from the fact that if they are employing someone who's on a work permit, they feel that they have more control over that person than a person who does not require a work permit and has much more flexibility. But there are pros and cons to both sides of that coin as well. Folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and, by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the very busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, whether it be an office cubicle or if you're working in the outdoors. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. I want to encourage you to continue to support your radio station. Join Sterling Dwayne Banks at 12:15 for Talk Today, where someone else will be guest hosting. And while I have given my closing comments, we still have a little bit more time left. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Mr. Jackson to give some more details about the School of Hospitality Studies in terms of the current registration, now what they can look forward to and what can be done in the future. I know that you will continue to be involved in all of the job fairs and stuff that are taking place to inform people as well. Again, give you a little bit more of an opportunity to promote the school itself.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, I just want to add that one more thing that we've done at UCCI is add short courses onto these programs. So we've spoken about the certificate program, which is a 1-year program, and our associate degree program, which is a longer program, and a diploma program, which is in the evenings. But we have short courses as well in different areas that will get persons developed and honing their skills in different things. We have a preventive maintenance program that allows persons to learn how to do PM in a hotel setting. And that's really, really, really groundbreaking as well for Cayman, because this person coming into this program, you learn how to do painting, AC repairs, you learn how to do plumbing, you learn to do a little bit of electrical as well, and you get to work in a hotel setting. And that's really just designed to really support that sector in the hotel, because people see the hotel pretty much as food and rooms and meals, and hospitality employs the most people globally. And if you look at hospitality and tourism as a whole, and so we want to show persons that the maintenance side of it as well offers a very viable option for persons to pursue employment. And so we cover that as well at UCCI. And so we want to invite persons again to come on down to the hall today. Come on, give me a call if you can't make it. I'll be able to email you what you need to have. And my email address is wjackson@ucci.edu.ky. That's wjackson@ucci.edu.ky, and I'll respond to your email as soon as possible and send you the information you might need to have. And
now you did
squared away.
You did mention Lehman Scott High School in the BRAC.
Yes.
So other than going there, what is being offered to students in the BRAC?
We have the cake decorating course on the BRAC as well. Okay. We've offered 2 cohorts there already.
Okay.
Right? We have 2 groups who have went through the cake decorating course, and the course was offered in collaboration with Lee Scott High School.
Okay.
So we use their kitchen to offer the courses on weekends. So the instructor will go over on weekends and deliver the courses there as well. So we have a group of associate degree students working on the BRAC working with those students there, and they work at the Reef Resort on the BRAC. We have a student who's just been hired there as well. And so we are trying to get as much involvement as possible on the BRAC too. So we're looking to add, in addition to cake decorating course and the associate degree program, we're offering garde course as well, and other food and beverage service courses there too. So we are getting there as well. We're adding and broadening our horizons as we go along.
Excellent.
A few things.
All the best. Folks, join me on Wednesday when we will have on the show, for the record, the Honorable D. Ezard Miller, MLA, who represents the District of Northside in our Legislative Assembly. Have a great day. God bless.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Cayman Pharmacy Group, with a location in West Bay and professional pharmacy at CTMH Doctors Hospital. The Cayman Pharmacy Group has a location for you just around the corner. Seaboard Marine, with over 35 shipping ports, find your shipping solution by calling 949-4977 or visit seaboardmarine.com for competitive rates. Rotary Central, for more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. Fidelity Bank, for all your banking needs, visit fidelitygroup.com. Fidelity, we're good for you. And Roper's Janitorial, complete janitorial service for commercial, industrial, and residential. They get the job done right every time.